During the early 1950s, the CIA began to experiment with the behavioral engineering of human beings through their Scientific Intelligence Division. Receiving 6% of the CIA's total funds, the project took place at 80 institutions, universities, colleges, hospitals, and prisons. The test subjects were not volunteers. They were unknowing and unwitting citizens of the USA and Canada, taken by the CIA for testing. The goal of the project was simple: find an effective method of controlling the mind of a person and have them obey every command you give them. Many methods of this were tried, with limited degrees of success. The first thing the scientists tried was the administration of LSD to subjects. They understood that the drug had a way of distorting a person's sense of reality, meaning they could be exploited easily to do the bidding of whoever was in control. Beginning in April 1953, the CIA began taking people for testing, mainly mental patients, addicts, and prostitutes, people who were unable to fight back. One case in Kentucky saw one mental patient who was given LSD for 174 days straight, in the hopes that he would spill his secrets and could clear his mind to allow it to be programmed, turning him into an unwitting agent for the US government. The government also tested out the effects of LSD on members of the public, usually admitted without their consent, and tested their reactions to the drug. During Operation Midnight Climax, the CIA set up several brothels in San Francisco to obtain a selection of men. Once inside the brothel, the men were doused with the drug and were studied by government scientists behind a one-way mirror. They were interrogated under bright lights, creating a high-pressure situation used to squeeze information out of a person. The CIA found that when influenced by the drug in a high-pressure situation, people would begin to pour out confessions. This, however, was too stressful to some of the subjects, and during the interviews, several of the subjects suffered stress-related deaths, and the minds of the others withered away, driving them insane. Eventually, LSD was dismissed by the CIA researchers as too unpredictable. They had found that LSD was not the secret to unlocking the minds of people successfully, due to many subjects dying or going insane before they could get the information they needed. This led to the withdrawal of a large number of researchers from the project. This did not stop the CIA, though. They began experimenting with other kinds of drugs, which eventually led to what could be regarded as the thing that stopped the project. In one test, involving a subject by the name of Sidney Greenwood, they injected barbiturate into one arm and amphetamine into the other. The barbiturate was injected first, numbing the subject's senses and causing him to fall asleep. As the subject was about to slip away into a comatose state, the amphetamine was released into his body, forcing him to stay awake. At this point, he began to babble incoherently. However, it was possible at times to ask him questions and get useful answers back. It seemed that they had succeeded. However, after news broke out about the MK-Ultra project, the people began to act negatively towards the inhumane way the US government had acted towards American citizens. The CIA burned thousands of files regarding the project, including the files on the after effects of the tests. Due to technological advancements, it has been possible for investigators to recover some of the burnt files and restore some of the documents to the extent at which they are readable. Below is a record of the trials undertaken of Sidney Greenwood mentioned above. Project MK-Ultra. Dr. Jason Cattrall. Subject number 8374. Sidney Greenwood. Day 1. Injected subject with barbiturate and amphetamine. Subject is in an almost dreamlike state, yet is still awake. Subject is talking to himself and nodding his head back and forth and side to side, as though talking to people around him. I feel the need to clarify that the containment room is empty. We will monitor his progress. Day 2. Something happened. We began to ask subject questions about his life. He answers truthfully. We will press him more tomorrow and see what happens. Day 3. Amazing! Not only will he answer any question posed to him, but he is also under the illusion that he is owned by us. Good work. I feel the project may finally have achieved its goal. Day 4. Crap! Something is wrong. Went to check on the subject this morning to find him bleeding from the eyes and frothing at the mouth. Placed subject in isolation. Will keep monitoring progress. Day 5. Still the same as Day 4. 2 doctors working with the subject have taken ill, leaving site complaining about migraine headaches. Subject remains in isolation. Day 6. This is it. I'm done. This document is my resignation. Went to check on subject this morning. He wasn't in isolation. Subject is still missing. He is out there. 2 members of security guarding the door found dead, their brains painted across the walls. Both bodies found with bullet holes in the skull. I don't know who will find this document, but whoever it is, make MK Ultra known. Not just about the tests, but what it does to the subjects who survive. It makes them dangerous. That is where the document ends. Dr. Jason Cattrall was found within the facility, his head laid upon the typewriter, his blood soaked into the paper. The escaped subject was eventually found fleeing from the base, his eyes bright red and foam pouring from his mouth. Once the subject was shot down by security, making no attempt to save himself, all members of staff fled the base and left the other subjects there to die. There was a reason that few ever spoke of MK Ultra once the information was released. The CIA had created the world's greatest weapons, decisive and tactical soldiers who would never question orders. And they just left them there, to learn, to plan, and to prepare. Al-Qaeda is not the greatest threat to America. The real enemy is a lot closer to home. What's up, everybody? This is the Lone Wolf here. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the story of MK Ultra. If you did, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing, especially if you're new to the channel. Turn on the bell for notifications and join the Lone Wolf Pack. If any of you guys have a personal story or recommendation for me, or you just want to talk, there will be a link to my email, Twitter, Discord server, and Instagram in the description. There will also be links in the description for all of the music artists that I used in this video, along with each individual track that I used for those of you interested in the music. And last, but certainly not least, if any of you guys have any ideas or tips for me to make my videos even better, please leave me a comment or send me a direct message. Until next time, stay spooky. And remember, the hunt begins when the moon is full. Sweet dreams.